go again. So we've talked about my whole strategy, my system, everything you need is pretty much explained. All you need to do now is learn those things: daily bias, break structure, fair value gap, liquidity sweep, and you've got it. But when do you actually trade those things? That is the question. And in this video, I'm going to talk about that because I think that is the next big step of actually learning a trading system. It's when do you trade it? Yes, it's all good knowing the concepts, but when do you actually trade the system? So for me, I trade New York session, which is over here. Let me draw the end of that. So this here is New York session, and that is where I trade. But what is important to my system? So as you know, I trade based on session liquidity, meaning it's liquidity, the highest or the lowest point of that session. So for example, it'd be like this. So first things first. This over here, so from this line to here, that signals 11 p.m. UK time to 8 a.m. London time. So this over here is Asian session, and that is from 11 p.m. to 8 a.m. UK. So boom, that is Asian session there. So that's where Asian price moves the most. Then you have over here London session, which is from 8 a.m. to, it's like 4:30, but obviously it doesn't matter because New York session it's more important in that time period. So over here you have New York session, and that is from 2:30 to, it ranged, it's like 9 or 10 p.m. It's usually 10 it closes. So boom, those are the three key sessions. So you have Asian session, London session, and New York session. But because we trade off of session-based liquidity, we are trading New York session, so we need to find the liquidity in these areas. And the easiest way to do that, let's say you've just gone into the day and you are bullish based on your analysis. So what do you need? Because you are bullish, what you want is for price to come down and then push up, because you want it to come down so it takes liquidity, because you need that liquidity sweep to fill the orders for price to then push back up. So you want price to come down and move up. So what are you looking for when you are bullish on the market? You're looking for London lows, for example, this point here. Let me make the line a bit thicker. So you're looking for the London lows, which is down here, but also the Asian low, which looks like it's around here. But is the Asian low still relevant? No, it's not, because it got taken out by London. So because it was taken out by London, that doesn't matter. Now you're just waiting to see how the London price plays out and then how New York plays out. So in New York session, let's say we're bullish, we know that we want London low to be taken because we are bullish on the day. So what are we looking for? When New York opens, we'd want price to run down, take that low, create a high, create a low, break structure, and then continue going up and down. And that would be the break there, and you'd enter around there. And obviously you'd have the fair value gap over here, which would support the confluence. Then you'd look for like an invalidated fair value gap. But that's when you trade. You trade New York session if you're going to use exactly my system. Obviously there's different things you can change about it, whether you want to trade London, New York, whatever it is. You just take the concept and fit it to when you're trading. But if you're using my exact system that I've explained, you're trading New York session based on the highs and lows of the liquidity of the sessions before. So if you were bearish, what would you do? If you were bearish, you'd be looking for the London and Asian highs to be taken, because you want price to come down. So you'd want price to move up Because you're bearish, you want the buy side liquidity to be taken, and then for price to move back down. So where would you be looking for liquidity? So we know this is New York session, this is London session. So for me, it looks like this over here. Obviously, you'd go to the lower time frame to get the exact high, but that looks like it would be the London high. And then for the Asian high, it would be over here. So what would you be looking for? Are both liquidities valid? Yes. Unlike the bullish scenario where only London was valid, London hasn't been taken, or Asian hasn't been taken. It's both still valid in the system. So like over there, you'd want price to run up, take the London low, the London high, which we saw here, come down, take the Asian high, then create a break, and then move down. You don't need it to come down here, because what typically happens is it takes London but doesn't have to take Asian. So here you would be able to be like, okay, so it's come up, taking that, it's come down, then you'd wait for the break structure, but it's not happened. So then it's gone up, taken the Asian, then create the break structure, and then you trade. If it just takes one, you can trade that as well. But if it takes both, then it's better confluence. But that is when you're trading, that is how you are trading. You are trading based on session-based liquidity, so always draw out London session, Asian session, New York session, and wait for price to play out. Get your daily bias, whatever your bias is. You want to take the opposite liquidity. So if you're bullish, you want sell side liquidity, meaning the lows. If you are bearish, you want the buy side liquidity, meaning the highs. And usually, this is another very key thing about my actual system. Most trades you are ever going to take will not be between 2:30 when market opens and 3 o'clock. You will rarely, using my system, you will rarely take trades in this area. Most trades happen between 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock in my system, UK time. So if you are trading it, get your bias, find your liquidity. If you are bullish, find your sell side liquidity, and then you are waiting for price to move to the lows, take the lows between 2:30 and 4. But most of the time you're going to take the entry between 3 and 4. After that, it's the probability of it being a winning trade lowers. But usually between 3 and 4, get the trade in there, and that is the best time to trade my system. I hope this makes sense. It's just on session times that you trade, and yeah.